up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, AthleanX.com. I'm going to show you today how to address the most underdeveloped, weakest muscle in your lower body, bar none. And by doing so, we're going to help to improve your big lifts like the squats, deadlifts, and certainly any single leg activity. Because the muscle group that we're talking about here today is the glute medius. And unless you're having a concerted effort in your programming to train this muscle, you're probably not doing it. And you're leaving yourself exposed to a lot of other damage down the kinetic chain, mostly in the knees, because we know that if you have weakness and instability up at the hips, it's going to affect the positioning of the knees and most often result in too much torque and pain and injury in the knee. So what we can do for the glute medius is we can do it in a lot of different ways. The first way to do it is to get up here against the wall, okay? Lift up your leg here. This is not the leg we're actually working, because in order to get the glute medius, what we want to be able to do is abduct the hip straight out to the side. Now, when we do it closed chain, it looks a little different than it would traditionally, which people know as abduction of the hip. This way, straight out to the side. Well, when we do it with our foot fixed on the ground and we drop the hip out to the side, we're actually squeezing in. And you can see that if I kept it going, it's no different with the hip ending up out here on the outside of my body. So you want to just allow yourself to get lazy. Drop down to the side. Allow your hips to drop down in this direction. The only thing that can actually bring them back up now, if you do this right, is the contraction right here of the glute medius, squeezing it straight across, sideways. And you should feel it tightening right here in the hip, right in the butt. You come straight across and you try to lift your hips up even a little bit more on an angle this way. You feel the squeeze, you let it drop and get lazy. Feel the squeeze, let it drop and get lazy. If you can't do 20 of these in a really slow, controlled way, squeezing every single time without the burn becoming something you can't tolerate, then you really, really have weak hips. And even doing exercises like the squat, where you're being told to keep your knees out as you go down, is going to become very difficult for you, and it's going to be somewhat problematic when you try to keep your knees healthy when you're doing squats. But you guys know that there's different levels for different people. We can make this more difficult by adding some resistance. So if we find that our athletes are strong enough in the bodyweight version, then we add the ball. Because what we're doing here now is picking our hip up into this ball, and we're doing the same thing. We're going to drop down. But what we've now added is resistance, because as I try to drive across, I have to push against the resistance of this ball, which is making this a hell of a lot more difficult. So you try to drive across, again, nice and slow and controlled. Drop the hip down and out, and then drive across. Down and out, and drive across until it's level again, or even a little bit up. This becomes much more difficult, and again, the target here is, can you do 20 in a nice, slow, controlled fashion without it causing you so much pain in your hip that you have to stop? Maybe you're even stronger than that. And that's a good thing, because we want to make sure that we're keeping those knees healthy. And we got to keep the hips strong in order to do that. Well, you can go to the third level here, which is adding a band and put it right up around your hips. And you anchor it, and depending on how far away you stand and how much resistance is in this band, you've now made this exercise even more difficult as you try to overcome the resistance of the band. So the idea is, regardless what level you're at, remember, there's no other way to strengthen these muscle group unless you're directly working it. You're not going to hit through your squats, you're not going to hit through your deadlifts, but those exercises are going to be severely impacted by your ability to have a strong hip in order to perform them at their best. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you're looking for a training program that doesn't overlook muscle groups, because we know they're all important, they're there for a reason. You got to make sure you're strengthening them all, and you're strengthening them in the right way, getting them to work the way that they want to work together. Head to AthleanX.com right now and get our AthleanX training system. In the meantime, if you found this video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below, and let me know what you want to see here. We hit 2 million, guys. I really appreciate all of your support for helping us get to this point, but I'm committed to making sure that we're going to not slow down here. We're going to continue to give you the best information you can find anywhere on YouTube. All right, guys, we'll be back here in just a few days to hopefully do that yet again. All right, guys, see you soon.